Okay, great. Welcome everybody to this new stream, this Wednesday stream. And today, as always, we have two topics that we're going to look into. The first one starting with the app review that we have set up for today as well. And I've seen already that Ali, or I hope I'm saying it right, Ali Pachman or something, is in the chat as well. Please say hi so we know that you're here. And after that, as always, second part is going to be me working on the open focus timer. And we have from the last time a summary that we're going to go through, so we know where we're at right now, so we know also where to continue. But we are going to start with an app review actually, which is called Schmusi's Home. And I see Ali is in the chat, so welcome Ali to the chat. Also, Shan Pao, is that like selam, iyi yayınlar, teşekkür ederim. Çok teşekkür ederim. Just saying hello. Welcome to the stream as well. And yeah, first, before I get actually started, I want to thank everyone who has followed, because there has been quite a bit of people who have started following, which I really appreciate. And I just want to quickly go through that list. It's not very long. So first, thank you for following FXC King Dopey. Thank you, Milan217. Thank you for following TBA95. Thank you as well. Then we have Swag of Thrones. Thank you. Fucast has followed and even subscribed with a Prime subscription. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Then we have Andrei Kovic. I hope I said that right. Andre, probably. Thank you. PK Random, thank you. Spit DZ or Spitz, thank you. Shampao or Sampao, thank you. Flow DSO, thank you. And Sir Views a Lot also, thank you everyone for following. So I hope that you're going to also look into the stream or the YouTube video later. And yeah, that's that. But let's get actually started with the app review. And today's app is called I'm going to read it in German, as I'm like, this looks like a German word. And I've looked up that Ali is actually located in Hamburg. So I'm assuming that this is a German developer, or a developer living in Germany at least. And yeah, Schmusi's Home, basically. And it is not on the App Store yet, as far as I know, because I have received a test flight link. And this is actually the iPad connected. And that's the test flight page. And let me also give you the link to the app we are going to review. So if you want to check the app out, you can find the test flight link. And I've asked the developer, I've asked Ali if I can share that. So feel free to check that out as well. He's fine with that. And also there's a link to their Twitter page. Make sure to follow them as well. And yeah, I would just want to get right to it, because these reviews can take some time sometimes, and let's go through it. And I have created this document that we're going to walk through. So as always, I'm going to go in the app review through 3 different parts. First, the store page. In this case, it's just the test flight page, so there's not much to see there, but we will still have a look, where I have a look at the app icon, video screenshots, description, privacy policy, etc. Second part is the first app use. So I'm going to open the app the first time. I have not opened the app yet. I have just downloaded it. So we are prepared and don't have to wait for the downloading time, but not opened yet. And there I'm going to look at the different things like, am I being guided as a user? Are there empty states because first time you open an app, there's no data yet. And how's the interaction feedback? And third, and our last part is to basically explore what other features we can find in the app, which I maybe don't find on first app usage. So also the developers have an impression on what I actually look at when I first start the app versus like when I actually explore later. And there we're going to have also look into different parts like accessibility also. And last but not least, I'm going to give some kind of rating. And just as a reminder, this rating is not meant to make apps comparable or something. This is also just a rating for the first impression. It's more about highlighting the areas which maybe you can make progress the easiest, because if you have a 1-star rating on one of those, one of these categories, you know, okay, in this category, that's like where I can improve the fastest. If you already have 2 stars, it's much harder to get to 3 stars. But yeah, that's that. And I would say let's get started. So let's have a look at Ali's app here. And the iPad is already getting close. Okay, so let me show that. And first thing we're going to do is just have a look at the store page, and we always start with the app icon. So I will just think loudly so you can basically understand what I as a user think. So just looking at the app icon, I can see a teddy bear, like that's what I'm seeing. And it's like all playful, colorish. It's like I have the impression that this is going to be fun. Definitely it's a fun kind of app. And maybe related to kids, maybe for kids. I'm not sure about that yet. And yeah, overall, that's like, it looks nice. It's definitely an icon that I would also, when I look at it like on the home screen. Oh, I see that it's a different icon there. That's very interesting. This is the old app icon. Oh, I see. So, okay, let's rate this icon then. Okay, so I'm seeing this on the home screen. I can recognize kind of the teddy bear, but now I wouldn't be sure about anymore if it's a teddy bear or if it's just a bear, like a head of a bear. It could also be anything else that has like ears. So it looks like an animal for sure, like an animal head, I would say. But I wouldn't be really sure what it's about. It's still like this this background color still gives me a feeling of being nice, fresh, and also like playful somehow. Because it's like a color that is like pastel. You can also see the background colors here are kind of like that. And yeah, I don't really understand the shape. The only thought I have here is that it could be an animal head. Now I already have like I'm prejudiced now with the teddy bear that I've seen before. But yeah, if you want users to really understand that this is a teddy bear, I think it's not enough to just have the outer shape. But if you want me to understand that it's about animals, then I guess I would get that. And one thing I recognize is that it doesn't feel like the shape that you have inside the app icon is really centered. I may be a little bit too hard on the symmetric part, but this doesn't look like it's really centered because it feels like it's not right in the middle. I think if there was not for the ears, if it was just a circle, it would look like it's exactly in the middle. But with the ears, it feels like it's more at the top. So if you just put it a little down, I think it will feel more like centered. Also, I don't have the feeling that it goes in line with these app icon. Like on iOS, we have the iOS app icon template where you have these different circles. So yeah, if you look at something like that, it doesn't look like it's this. It's like this circle here. So if I compare it with, for example, the settings app, this circle doesn't really fill this whole thing, and then it feels like it's too small what you have inside. That's just my opinion, and I'm not a designer at all, so don't take that as a big plus or minus. I'm also not going to subtract points. That's just my feeling, is that the icon could be a little larger and a little down to the bottom to feel more native, and also to be really symmetrically like in the middle, feeling like in the middle. But that's on the app icon. And overall, it's definitely kind of childish. If it's like the right app icon, that I will only know once I also understand what the app is about, which I don't know yet. But definitely colorful, playful, and improvable. Doesn't feel centered. Maybe shape too small. You can also see directly in comparison to like the Shortcuts app, which has also a shape in here, and it's much larger than this shape in here. So, but let's get to the next point, and I actually have to get back here, and we don't have any screenshots here, but we can go to app details and see at least the description, which is very short. Okay, this is still in the beta phase. Good clue, a lot of assets are still not 100% done. Gonna put that app icon to the placeholders, no worries. Also, because this is a like a beta app that we're reviewing, it's not even in the store. I'm going to expect a lot of things that are still missing, and that's absolutely okay. This review is more for like highlighting some aspects. It's not about especially as it's not on the store yet. It's totally fine if they're missing things. So, but learning from here, like description is not there yet. Just put it like that. No real description yet. But let's read what we have here. So what I can read is Schmusi's home beta, your vivid diary. So it's a diary. That's what I'm getting here. And I also forget to read the app title, which is Schmusi's home. Okay. So Schmusi, I know, I happen to know German. So I know that Schmusi is a common name for teddy bears and things like that. Schmusen is like cuddling, basically. And Schmusi's home is like the cuddle teddy bear's home. So it's definitely about, I guess, somehow some kind of cuddling, some kind of good times. And I can see from the app details, from the description, that it's a diary. So we're going to have a diary app. Text, assets, and colors are still placeholders. If you have installed the old beta, please delete it first. I haven't, so this is the latest one I have. And text, assets, and colors. Okay, so we'll try to, so what I understand is it's a diary. That's the only thing I understand so far. Okay, let's get to actually starting the app and seeing what happens. I can't really check the privacy, etc. So on this part, I'm just going to skip in the rating. But yeah, let's continue. So first, app start. Okay, this is a UI from TestFlight, and this is the actual UI from the app. Welcome to the second beta of Schmusi's home. It even tells me like this is the second beta. That's nice. Maybe I actually missed something, some kind of animation there. So let me actually try to start again. Oh, that's nice. Welcome to the second. It's talking. It's like a teddy bear, and the teddy bear is talking. So I can like my very first impressions and feelings. It first confirms being colorful. All the background colors really go in line with the app icon color background, which I really like. Also, it's clear that this was a teddy bear icon, so it's at least after starting the app, at least for once, I think it's going to be clear what this is about. And I do like that it's kind of creating a nice feeling, and it's talking to me. So welcome to the second bit of Schmusi's home. Nice to meet you. My name is Schmusi. Nice. So it's very clear what I need to click here. So that's also very nice. I also like the background hue changing over time. Gives a feeling of that like the app is living. Maybe this is kind of like this teddy bear. Maybe is kind of a friend that this reminds me a little bit. I'm not sure if that's a good comparison. A little bit, it reminds me of the Microsoft Words app, where you had this small thing that was always talking to you. Because this also kind of looks like that. Let's see if that's going to stay or if this is just for the onboarding. In this beta, I just clicked a button. This beta, a lot of text and images are placeholders and will be reworked for the final release. So the app is even telling me that. Very, very nice thing there. Also, our features are already unlocked rather than being unlocked over time. So have fun trying to... Okay, so in the final app, I will have to unlock them step by step. Please give us feedback on everything that strikes your attention in a positive or negative way. Very nice. Alrighty, so there's a small typo, alrighty, GHT, but no worries. Good to have you here. Would you mind telling me your name since you already know mine? So your name is Schmusi, I guess. Like I know it from the app's name, but I'm still guessing. I mean, Schmusi could be anything. It could also be a different character. So it did it really introduce itself? I don't remember. Does anyone remember? But yeah, maybe it should actually tell, hi, I'm Schmusi. But I think it did, right? I think it did at the beginning. There's also no back button. So if I like misclicked at the bottom button at the bottom, I wouldn't have known, like I wouldn't be able to reread what I have read before. So if this is going to be your long-term onboarding, there should be kind of a back button. It doesn't have to be as highlighted as the forward button, but there should be a way that I can get back to the text before somehow, I would say. Another thing, by the way, that this reminds me is, as a Pokemon fan, I really love the Pokemon games. This kind of reminds me also of that, because I always have to click to continue the text, and it's like filling up step by step, which is also very like old type of Pokemon style. Okay, so I have to enter my name here. And what name should we get? Let's just call ourselves Jihad. Did I? Okay, cool. The teddy bear is looking down at the text field, which is also a nice animation. It even animates between those states. Really cool. Awesome, nice to meet you. I'm really happy to join me today. Yeah, maybe just mention my name there. Nice to meet you, Jihad. I'm really happy to join me today. Let's keep this place safe, shall we? Make up magic word to keep all your data fully encrypted. Magic word. Okay, so the password is being called magic word. I'm not sure who this is targeted towards. If it's targeted towards children, I guess the looks is nice, but like the things that I'm asked for, entering name, I guess maybe people could enter the name, but like children, I'm not sure. Like it depends on their age, but definitely the password. I'm guessing this is not for children, so probably children related, or maybe not even. But yeah, we have to set up a password here. And I'll just go for closes even their eyes. This is really nice. Look at that teddy bear. We could enter... Let's just go for Jihad as well. I will not continue using the app. And okay, you can't see it in the stream, so Apple makes sure that you don't see it. So you know it now because I said it, but please repeat the magic word, so I'm sure I understood it correctly. Let me actually type in something wrong here. So you don't see, but I just entered something wrong. I'm clicking continue. And then I can reset password. Don't worry, just re-enter your desired password. Okay, let's change it this time. Okay, I'm entering. Now let's continue. Repeat. Let me repeat that. Okay. Okay, now it's saying that it's not the same. Oh, I mistyped. Now you can see. Let's continue. Nice. Now that we are safe, I would like to tell you about my home. Let's do that. This is a safe place to write your stories down. A diary, so to speak. A vivid diary which you have yet to build and decorate, just like a home. Nice. Besides writing your own stories, I have some questions to amplify your reflection and imagination. So are you ready for your first question? And I can answer only I. So aye, sir, let's start. Lots of animations for sure. Okay, now we have some UI. Welcome to this wholesome place. What's on your mind today? So, okay, on the colors, I already want to give feedback before I get to the screen details here. So you have this very, very bright bluish color and you have white on top of it. And I can barely read it, but it's definitely not a good contrast. And I also want to say something similar to the app icon before. So this app icon kind of works, but even in this app icon probably should have a little bit more contrast between the white and the background. You can do it by giving it an outline, a shadow, or you just change the color of the background. But yeah, just small feedback. And this already has Touch ID to unlock. Very interesting. So if I don't unlock it with Touch ID, unlock your diary to continue. Don't worry, everything is saved as soon as you wrote it. Cool. We enter. See if that works. It works. Okay, so it's automatically locking, and it also has automatically the Touch ID or Face ID or whatever you have on. Welcome to this wholesome place. What's on your mind today? Okay, it told me it's going to ask me many things, but it's just asking me like, what's on your mind today? Very, very general question. And let's see if I can type something here. I can scroll. Okay, that's like the first interaction is I'm scrolling here, and when I tap on here, actually nothing happens. So that's definitely something where I would expect something to happen, and either I can type, for example, because it asked me something, and it looks like I can write down something there, and I'm not aware. I can see at the top though that I can draw, so I'm expecting there is like Apple Pencil support. But I try, like if I scroll, you can see like I can't really draw with my finger, so I'm already kind of not sure, especially without a pencil. I'm not also sure if Apple accepts apps that only support Apple Pencil, but if I wanted to draw with my finger, I wouldn't know how to do that. And if I tap, also I can't type in. Can I click the plus button down there? Oh, it just creates a new one. And I can go back. Okay. Welcome to the Soul Someplace. What's on your mind today? Okay, so can I tap like the pencil and thing and then draw? Still can't draw. Okay, this is definitely something that is not clear to me as a user, that I have to use it with a pencil. And also the back button makes me want to press it. What's going to happen when I press that? Congratulations for writing your first diary entry, Gia. Okay, I didn't really do much, but this is definitely, again, a nice animation. And it like congratulates me just because I clicked back. And I'm kind of confused now because I thought that this is like the home screen now. And now I feel like this is the home screen. Like, what is the home screen? Am I also always, when I open the app, going to get here? And that's why we have the back button there? Or is that other thing the home screen? I'm not sure. And if this was the home screen, yeah, at least in the current state, I'm not sure if this is a good home screen because there's like no overview of my notes and things like that. But I guess that we're going to get there. So I will click anywhere on the screen to see if that continues. Okay, nothing happens. So I'm clicking like here and there because I just want this animation to stop, to just continue, and it doesn't happen. So I'm guessing I have to click maybe on the teddy. Nope, nothing happens when I click on the... So as this is really animated, now I'm like, my expectations are actually getting higher. So I'm expecting the teddy even to react when I click on a teddy, and even the bubble. So maybe the bubble makes like a bubbly effect and the teddy maybe makes some movements or something. But let me click and continue. While we're busy, I have built something I wanted. Does it actually happen? No. Okay, so when I click on the teddy, I'm just tapping it here. Nothing happens, and as this is all animated, it would be really nice if the teddy just reacts, maybe just closes their eyes or whatever. And same for bubble, maybe just having a small effect. But let's continue. Okay, I can create new entries, can create blank entries or answer your questions. I'm excited what you will. So definitely you should not have said that I have actually created, and also it was missing the part that to teach me I have to use an Apple Pencil. So that's something you should definitely add to the guide in here. So let's actually very positive, or let's call it Schmusi, is guiding us. Not clear that I have to use Apple Pencil. Home not clear on first start at least. Okay, let's continue. Oh, okay, maybe this is the home view, how it looks like. So immediately when I see this, I'm not sure where to look at because there's a lot of things going on the right, but also things going on in the middle and left. And this is like, although this is not really filled kind of view, I don't really know what to do here now. There's multiple calls to actions. There's like this book mode button, there's this answer, there's this say bye. This is kind of fine. And then there's also these colors, and I'm really not sure where to look at first. So that's maybe something which is maybe on purpose, could be. Maybe it's also something that maybe you had an idea what I should do here first, and I'm not getting it because everything has the same highlight. So if this is the first thing I should do, I would recommend that you make all this just like darkened out or something like that. So it's clear that I have to look into this first. But yeah, there's a lot going on because everything is unlocked. Oh, I see. Okay. So for the later usage, it's going to be step by step. Anyways, I'm just going to start with the answer button. So let me click the answer button. Okay, it immediately opens the diary. And let me actually try out drawing now. So I have an Apple Pencil here. I'm just going to try drawing with the Apple Pencil. So let's say, okay, it does work. So I can write hello here. I can, with the finger, I can scroll down. And I can also choose different kind of things. So hello world. This kind of looks as ugly as my writing. Ooh. This is the one that I like most, and then I can remove these things. I can also cut, I guess. and just click on that, duplicate, and then move this around. Cool. So basic editing things. Can I also draw outside? Okay, when I try to draw outside, nothing happens. So this is the whole drawing field. I see. Let's revert that. I can also change the color here. Is this like custom UI or is this default by Apple? That will be like interesting to see. In the final version, you will unlock everything over time. The drawing engine is PencilKit from the Notes app. I see. Makes sense. Okay, so we can draw. Let me try out the buttons at the top right. So I have the plus button there. Let's click that. Oh, I can add a photo, a sticker. I can add tags. What kind of tags? So I can move them around. I can edit. Oh, cool. So is this going to be helpful for search? Add tags to your entries to filter between them in book mode. After a while, you will can see how a certain topic evolved over time, so you can reflect and learn from it. Cool. Can change the color. This is change the word. Okay, so these are different tags. I see. I can also edit my own tag. Work free. Oh, that's renaming a tag. What is this? Okay, I can change the background. So the icon I think is fine. I would have guessed that it has to do something with the shapes of the background. Custom color picking UI. Okay, the color picking UI is custom. Yeah, I thought so too. Mostly because of this thing here, which doesn't look like a native shape. And then I can click that button at the top right, which is duplicating something. Oh, there's Schmusi. Oh no. So Schmusi is looking at me like at the bottom right of the screen, which I like. But again, if I click on Schmusi, I would expect something to happen. So maybe also that the fact that Schmusi is there, having always a meaning, like in this case, it can give me tips, or if I click on it, I could I don't know, some kind of tips or something, or guiding me through this. I'm just wondering why Schmusi is there now. Okay. Okay, this is a share sheet. Let me go back. So I'm not really getting if this is a copy or duplicate. It looks like duplicating to me, but it kind of did the share, it had the share sheet here, or the button icon at least. Yeah, this is definitely, I don't get why this icon is a share icon and this icon is duplicate one. That's cool feedback with tapping on Schmusi, yeah. And I can also move this around. I can turn it around. Can also use like pinch to zoom. Oh, I can pinch to zoom, but it's like pinching into this area here. That's interesting. So I wouldn't expect that the Schmusi question is actually scaling as well. That's maybe a small thing here, but it's also not that bad. So it's fine to have it like that. But then I also expect that I can draw on that, and I can't. Like I can draw here, but not getting up there. So, but I guess that's fine. And if I click on an object, yeah, I would expect when I click on an object that I can also rescale it, like by just pinch zoom, I would expect it to actually change its size. And I also don't see a button that allows me to pinch to zoom, so maybe that's something you would like to add. I can delete it and I can edit, and edit is just changing the tag. Okay. I just tried to tap on these words. I thought maybe there are also objects that I can like click, move, and do things with, but I guess I have to click this button and then do something like this. Can I pinch now? Oh, okay. Same thing here. I would expect if I have a object selected that I can maybe resize it. But I guess maybe that's also a PencilKit thing that we can't do this. Cool, but that's that. That's the editing mode. Let's get back to the screen. So have you ever forgot your keys and been locked out? Tell me about that situation. Not really. Didn't happen to me. The duplicate icon is more of a overview icon to show you an overview of your entry. It's more obvious when you have multiple pages. Okay, so how can I get back to my just like the doc. Oh, okay, this is the document. Okay, so I didn't like from just how the UI looks, I wouldn't have guessed that the Schmusi entry there, like the question that Schmusi asking there, is the way I open the document. So that was like definitely confusing to me. And I would expect more something like the only hint I have there is the date, because I see the date. I think like, okay, is this something that I have done on this date or something? But yeah, I don't think it's clear yet that clicking on that is going to open the document where Schmusi had asked me this specific question. So maybe you want to add like a preview on the right, like there is a lot of space here, so you might want to add a preview there. Alternatively, you could also just add an icon or something like that that hints that this is the document, something like that. So it's more clear to me that this is the document. And then also you could change the text here. Schmusi asks to Schmusi asked in the past, so it's clear that this was something that I had filled out in the past. But when I click new entry, it opens a new question. Oh, there is no question here, so I can enter my own title. Let's call it test. Okay, now I can, so this looks entirely different. So we can see that there is a, yeah, this looks like a document. So if I open this one, I would expect to get into the document. And I can draw in here. But this looks entirely different from also the view. So what I would definitely suggest is to make them look more similar and add also on the Schmusi question one, maybe make it not so highlighted that it's actually a Schmusi question. Maybe make it a little smaller. Maybe make it only show it at the top. Like also when you go in here, it's only shown at the top. Maybe use something like that as well. That's like that will be my suggestion here. What happens when I click say bye? Oh. Thank you for a visit. It was awesome. So like Schmusi's home, that's now giving me the notion of the home. So I'm entering the home and I can leave it again. That's kind of cool. Maybe there should be like, I don't know, a door. So I actually have the feeling of a home. I'm entering home and leaving home. Just an idea there. Thank you for your visit. It was awesome. By the way, did you know that when you write something down, it is instantly saved, so don't worry to close the app. Well, look what timing. So animations are definitely on point, and this also, like I see like the blurred things falling out, really looks nice. Guess I will go for a nice little walk then. So I would love to see you again. Take good care. So the things are falling on top of the bubble, so at some points I can't really read what the text in the bubble. Maybe you want to make the bubble in the front. I mean, it's white anyway, so you can't really see something in front of it. And it's saying goodbye. What's going to happen now? Re-enter. So I can't re-enter. Okay, what I'm missing here is because I saw before that I can actually re-enter with Touch ID. And I'm not really sure. Maybe TestFlight has like special rights. It didn't ask for Touch ID. It didn't even ask for like image picker. So I was surprised by that a little bit. And if you forgot something, I would also expect to have a button here to start logging in with Touch ID. I guess when I close the app and open again, it's going to ask me. Okay, it's also not recognizing that I'm opening the app. And basically, it could have started Touch ID now. And yeah, I'm missing a button here because you do have that feature. I would expect it here as well. Let's re-log in. Oops, did I miss that? Also, I can't look at what I've typed in. So when you had the setting up the password, you had a button for showing that. You don't have it here anymore. Although you don't see it in the stream, I actually tried to sign in, enter something, and it's telling me it's not right. What's with that? Okay, now I can enter again. So let's get back to the duplicate icon, because this icon definitely doesn't look like it's going to show me multiple pages. I think in iOS you already have a meaning for that, and it means duplicate. So if I just go to SF symbols, I just search for duplicate. Okay, it's not that, but documents or page. What's the name of that icon? but I'm somehow connecting it to duplicate. And if you want to have more like a page view, maybe you should use an icon that looks more like this. So if I had like rectangles, maybe something like this or that. These could be like more clear that it's going to show me pages rather than duplicate. Yeni Swift'e başlayanlar için tavsiyen var mı üstad? Okay, the question is, for people starting out in Swift, do you have any recommendations? And well, I am like, first I am preparing something myself for total beginners. So if you wanna just, if you're not in a hurry, you can just search for Flying Dev on YouTube and just follow my channel. Let me also share the link here, but that's going to be in the summer, where I'm going to actually have a course for iOS beginners or Swift beginners. But for now, I would suggest that you just check out Hacking with Swift, which is a great website from Paul Hudson. And you can just go to Learn here and just click 100 Days of SwiftUI. And this is a course where you get taught both Swift and also SwiftUI for beginners. And it's like, there's a video that explains how the whole course works, but it's also totally free. So there are some rules and tips and things like that. And then you just start with the day one, you learn about variables and so on. And it's really great to get started. It's a really great free resource. So let me share that link. Also, last time we talked about CS193P, which is a course on Stanford, like from Stanford University, which is online, so you can watch all those videos from the university. But I would only recommend this if you're not really going for app development right away. If you're going for like more broader knowledge of iOS development and Swift and things like that. But like, there are two takes on how you can get started, and this is a more university kind of take. So whatever you prefer. I hope that helps. Thank you for asking that. But back to the app review. So yeah, that's the views that I can see so far. Let's see if there's anything that I've missed. So that was like my first app usage. It was very guided. I did create documents. I was confused in some places, and then I left. And basically, let's explore the app more now. Peki, teşekkür ederim. İyi yayınlar. I'm glad I could help. Okay. So did you understand that? Anlaşıldı mı yani? İngilizce konuştum da anlaşılmadıysa Türkçe de anlatabilirim. So that was just like making sure that they understood what I said. And book mode. Let's try out book mode. What's book mode? Oh, okay. So I can see like all the things in the timeline. There's like a nice timeline thing here. And again, Teddy is watching me from the top right. So I see this filter thing, and actually, because this is clear that it's something that I can click, but I also thought, okay, I can filter here. That's cool. So I want to click that and filter. I didn't like, I'm guessing now, because I can't click it, that if I click one of these, I'm going to filter by them. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's fine, I guess. But yeah, I thought at first sight, I thought I can actually click that. But can I also click? Okay, I just tried to click these buttons here. I expected when I click them, it's going to move, but it's not happening. But I can swipe at the bottom as well. Evet anladım. 100 Days of SwiftUI'yı çok duydum. Sen de söyleyince kesin başlamaya karar aldım. Tamam, o zaman bol şanslar dilerim. Good luck. So they did understand what I was saying. And so this is the book mode. And then we have these color buttons. So I can influence the background color. That's nice. So I'm recognizing each time I click one of them, it takes some time. Teşekkür ederim. İyi yayınlar tekrardan. Teşekkürler. So when I click one of these colors, it takes some time until it changes. And if I want to change the colors quickly, it actually doesn't, like, it doesn't react that fast somehow. Or actually it does. Maybe I'm misclicking sometimes. Yeah, so the tap area, I guess, is not that big that I'm kind of misclicking it sometimes. It's actually fast. Cool. What's that 3 dots at the top? So I do have settings. I can back up. Your last backup is never, and I can backup. I'm guessing, yeah, this is using iCloud storage. So again, a really big issue with the contrast here. White on this very bright background color, not very readable. So that's definitely something that could be improved by changing the background color or the text color, or just giving the text always a background, like kind of a something like this, but not making it even lighter, instead making the background darker. If you make it darker, then the white text is going to be easier to read, and the same should be here as well, and here as well, everywhere where you have text. Or just choose a different text color also, another possibility. Export diary as PDFs. So maybe I can change the color myself. Let's go with a different one. Contrast, still contrast, like it's a little better now, but still the contrast isn't great. The plus icon on the page has a couple more features. Okay, I'm going to try that out. Where's the plus button? You mean like the new entry button? Or you mean like this plus button? I can set up a reminder. Remind yourself to read through. So this text is also a little small, just as a background. Also, it's all centered. And for larger amounts of text, it's not really readable to have text centered. It's better to have it left aligned. So that's something that you could also change here. And could save a reminder, and now I have to give it access. Cool, now it will remind me of that. That's nice. So we tried add. We can also, oh, that's how you enter text. Now I can type. That's cool. And I can even select the, oh, so many different fonts I can choose from. I can change the font size, the color. That's cool. I can change, wow, that's a series editor there. So that one I can resize. It says it has the button at least. So how do I resize? If I click that button, nothing happens. If I tap on the button and then move, okay, I had to hold it for longer. So I'm resizing the text field. I see. Cool. Milan 217 says, grüß dich. Ja, Grüße zurück. Willkommen. Greetings back. Yeah, the second theme will be taken out, I think. I don't like it that much as well. Okay, sure. Let me go back to the themes. This is the second, this is the third. Maybe this is the darkest one. Let me keep with that. I'm still seeing the same contrast issues. Like, it's better now for the settings, but for these texts, still not, like, it's more readable, but still not perfect. And we were at the plus button. We have sticker. Oh, cool. I can add Schmusi here. I can also change it, and let's actually make the Schmusi look down like it does in some screens, something like that. Cool. And I can add photos, so that's going to have photo access. I can add stickers. That's cool. So I like the customizability there. And in the screen, this is probably the because there's like also a different hue here. Now that I know the app a little more, this is the most inviting part. So it makes me want to click that answer button, which is probably what you want here, and it does work. Milan 217 subscribed with Prime. Thank you very much. And I wonder why there is no animations going on. There should be things happening right now. Ah, there we go. So thank you very much for subscribing. It's much appreciated. It's kind of hanging, as I can see. The animation should not be hanging. I have to check that out, why that is. Okay. But let's check these last things here. So we have notifications. Weekly, monthly, never. Okay. So for this notification screen, you're using like a full screen for this simple thing, which could be somehow included here directly. So maybe this should just be a scroll wheel with some settings. Also here, just turning on, turning off. I get that you want to explain and add text, but probably you could still put it into one screen and just make the text somehow expandable or something like that. Or specifically on an iPad, maybe you could just use like the tab layout or the sidebar where you have these things on the left bar and the other stuff is just on the right side. Maybe that's something you could do here. Security questions. Okay. Change password. Like more detailed things. Then I can click on give feedback and I can say email. Okay. Okay, wow, this is okay. This text is like killing my eyes actually. So this is like really hard to read because it's really biting with the background color. So you should definitely use a different color or just give it a background. This is really hard color combination with the blue and the red here. I can click rate the app. Okay, so this probably is going to work on the final app. Inspiration music. So the app is supposed to make some music. Okay, obviously I can't hear that because I have turned it off. Oh, I hear a lot of music now. Keep up the great work. We'll never forget our time in school. Our time in school? So who are you? Feel free to tell me like from Milan 217. I have a couple of people in mind who this could be, but I'm not really sure. So, but the app has a lot of music. Wow, that's interesting. Chris's Twitter. The initial design of Schmusi's character. Okay, so I can't really share the music of the app here. Germany, yeah, still like it. Does your name start with G and with E? Is that who you are? Who else could be a Milan fan? Not sure. Is it you? But welcome to the stream anyways. Let's continue. Legal disclosure and further licenses. Yeah, cool. I also happen to see something here. Yes. Oh, okay, so it's you. And welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How are things going for you? What are you doing actually? Like, I don't know. We didn't have much contact lately. So we should definitely catch up. And one thing I saw actually when I set this up, when I changed its language to English, is that I also have these licenses list here, which I find really cool. So that's definitely a plus on this app that I have these licenses. When you close the app, also for multitask, change the date to the next day, then the dialogues with Schmusi evolve. When you close the app, change the date to the next, then the dialogue. That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to just believe that. I don't want to meddle with, this is not my own iPad, so I don't want to change things too much here. That's also why the iPad is still in German. I don't currently have my own iPad, so I just had to, yeah, use a different one. But that's basically, I think, the app review here. And let's go into here again. Let's close this. And I think that's about it. Pretty well, thanks. I'm just wondering if you're still living in Germany. Yeah, I am currently still living in Germany. I'm living in Karlsruhe. And but we do plan to have a language trip first as soon as it's possible this year to Japan. So that's like our plan. But currently we can't because Japan is not allowing anyone in right now with the COVID situation. As soon as they allow in, we're going to move there and have like a longer, like multi-month travel period there. And we're also planning maybe to move there long-term if that multiple months are actually going to be, if we're going to like that, that's also like the preparation for that and learning the language, that's the most part. And then we want to move there and live there and see how that goes for some time. And probably then move back to Germany. And we don't know yet, but that's definitely something we want to try out. Like, where are you? Are you in Italy? Are you in Milan? Are you here? Are you still back in our hometown? Where are you right now? I'd like to know. Cool. So seeing old faces or reading them. So that's the app review, and I have not written down many things. So let's actually do a few notes here. So empty states. This was very guided. I don't think empty states needs to be rated. There's not rated. Maybe positive call to action to create a new document. So there is this create new interaction feedback. Very nice. Lots of animations. Maybe improvable. Couldn't go back and chat in how to call that in Schmusi's conversation. And lots of animations. Conversation style is nice. We have onboarding, like guidance is really amazing. It's guiding us and asking us questions. So app features exploration. Customizability, so different themes. We had lots of features that we could customize, like notifications and other features that were customizable. Customizability, improvable, not really customizability, but in the settings screen, maybe that's just what I already mentioned. Screen could be split view or something like that, especially on iPad. I think that makes sense. Like, how easy is reporting bugs? I guess that's going to be easy. So reporting bugs and feedback is offered in App Store then. So this would be a dream for me. I love Japan due to anime. I can guess that. Wish you the best for your preparations. And yes, I'm still in Germany, but not in hometown anymore. I see. So have you moved further to the south, further to the north? Are you still in Baden-Württemberg or out of there as well? What's your and what are you doing like as a day job? I mean, there's a lot of things I could imagine you're doing. Improvable on the feedback. We could really try that out. I don't want to really give feedback on that. This is a test flight app. System integration. We saw that we can share things. We saw that we can import photos. That's definitely part of it. So photo import, share, widgets and things like that. I guess there's like no need for that. It's also like a safe thing. So you probably don't want to show it in your home screen anyways. Accessibility. Let's try that actually out. So let me turn on here. Let's go to let's first try out what happens if we change the text size. If it's going to adjust. Let's make it really large and see what happens with the app. So to me, the app still looks, let me show that. So to me, the app still looks like the same kind of size, not really changed that much. Also the text here. So it doesn't look like it adjusts to dynamic type. That could be changed. Not going with or resizing, at least not everywhere. Dynamic size. I don't know if you Deckenphone, it's still close to Böblingen. I'm an engineer at Mercedes. Oh, cool. Engineer at Mercedes is definitely not a bad idea. Cool thing. So that's a good job, definitely. It's a secure job, a safe job. Dynamic type. So as you can see, I'm app developer and doing app development as an indie developer now, and now streaming even. And error handling, we didn't try that out. And for accessibility, we could also try voiceover. Let's try that out. So let's go back to normal size. Let's try to turn on voiceover while in the app. Voiceover, there we go. Okay. So I have voiceover on and I have to turn on the music so at least I can hear voiceover. And the music of the app is really loud. I wish I had more knowledge in IT, but I'm sucking at it. Yeah, that's fine. Everything is encrypted in the app. That's why you have to enter your password and login, and later Touch ID works. Everything is saved as core as data and core data. Makes sense. So it's reading out the buttons. Okay, definitely I can already see that. Oh, this is so loud. I can already see, so the music is definitely very loud. That's maybe something you could think about, maybe making it able to turn it off. I'm not sure, maybe it's the system that I have very loud. But anyways, I've just swiped a little bit through here and it's just reading out the icon names for example, for that lasso icon here. It's just saying lasso. It's not really telling me what it does. And also for this, it just said icon or button or something like that. And so the accessibility labels are not there. That's definitely something to be improved. No accessibility labels for icons. Cool. And error handling, there's not much with online going on, and I don't know how we could make a break now, so we can skip that and actually get, I think we have a good impression overall and get to the rating. So let's start with accessibility. So localization, this app, I just checked it also beforehand. It just has one language. I couldn't even change the language, so I'm assuming it's all in English. So no localization yet. That's also something related to accessibility. So provide more locales. But obviously that's going to make sense once it's ready to ship. Legibility, it was, I would say most of it was readable. There was some places where the text was a little small, where I mentioned it, but in many places the contrast didn't work. So that's definitely something that could be improved for making the text more legible. VoiceOver not supported yet, dynamic type not supported. So I have to give here for now 1 star because basically on all levels there's still a lot of things missing and easy to improve. Then we have customization. So we could change the whole coloring theme of the app. We could we can't change the app icon yet, but maybe that will change. And there's like a lot of settings for notifications and things like that. And overall, I had the feeling the app wants to be customizable. And like overall, the customizability, I think it's pretty on point. Like there's especially the all the colors you can change. And yeah, I really like that. You can change the app icon on the next day when you visit Schmusi. As you can see, even that is already given. Very nice. So I didn't know that, but that's definitely cool. Design. So colors, I like that it's very colorful. Just as I said, some colors like the red in one place where we had the red text and the background color, that really didn't fit. So some things to improve there, but that's like details. The navigation. So on the first app start, I didn't know what feels as home, and especially when I had to fill out my first note, or whatever you call them, I had the problem that I didn't know because the button looked like a back button, but when I clicked that, I went back to like the onboarding, and it was a little bit confusing. So it didn't feel like when I saw the screen the first time, so this one you see here, I had to think, okay, I'm already like in the main state or main view of the app. It wasn't clear to me that this is like just a document and it's just temporary when I first opened the app. Okay, but icons, I think most of them are actually quite good. So except for the duplicate icon, which I'm calling duplicate, but it's actually not a duplicate icon. Consistency, yeah, I didn't have any consistency, like inconsistency feelings. So all the rounded corners, they look like consistent. All the weight of the lines that you have in your icons and things like that, they look consistent, so really good there. Platform fit, it's like a custom UI design, but it fits the platform and it fits nicely with like the pencil cut UI we see here. So I think overall this is quite good. Colors, as I said, some improvements needed here. Navigation, maybe some there. Icons, some there. So overall, a few things could be improved, so let's give 2 stars. Feedback, bug reporting, feature requests, user forums. So I saw that it's possible to give bug reporting. It didn't work yet, but that makes sense in test flight. I can give feedback anyways. Feature requests, user forum, I didn't see those linked yet, but overall, I think having a way to give feedback is the most important thing, and it could always be improved over time. I can't really rate it, so it could be 3 stars. I can't really rate it. I could give it a question now, but then it counts as 0, so I'm not really sure if I want to do that. Let's give it 2 stars. Onboarding, store, guide, empty states, problem statement. So problem statement, it's a diary. It's definitely something that just guides you at the beginning, so very clear guide what you can do. There's like guided questions you can work with. I gave feedback on the when I'm here in this. Let me turn off VoiceOver. Okay, when I'm back in this overview, that the these 2 entries here, they were not clear, so that's something could be improved. As for the onboarding, or maybe that's just design, but I think the guide was quite good. The problem statement also, it was very guided, so I'm going to give 3 stars here. Maybe the store entry, we can't really rate the store entry yet, so that's something that I'm just going to skip here, but the part that we can rate, I think it's free here within the app. We have privacy, data economy, transparency. So how much data is actually stored, that's data economy, and transparency is making it transparent what is stored. So I can already say that looking at how everything is encrypted, I have the feeling everything is actually safe. It's also in iCloud, but if it's encrypted in iCloud, like I'm safe, I have my password there, which is really nice. So that's definitely clear. I couldn't check if there is any analytics or crash reporting tools in there. So I'm just going to skip that part. Also, I didn't check out the privacy policy and all the things that I have typically in the store. But I can say definitely that's on the transparency part. When I opened the app, when I used the app, it was not clear to me that this is all encrypted. This is just what you wrote in the chat, that it's all encrypted. Yeah, you're right. I should change the onboarding navigation, Schmusi menu page rather than page before menu. Yeah, that's something you could think about. But definitely it was not clear to me that it's all encrypted. So maybe it's just something that you need to communicate. Maybe I also just missed it. Maybe Schmusi actually told me. But then there should be some UI that always reminds me or hints me at that this is all encrypted, this is all safe. And I'm guessing that it's encrypted because I'm setting a password, but I was not even asked if I want to set a password. It was not explained to me or something. So it was just asked for it. And that's something where I think it could be improved. So transparency part, I think could be improved there a little bit. So I'm giving 2 stars here as well. No analytics, everything 100% usable offline. Schmusi mentions that in the upcoming dialogues. You mean the encryption and things like that? That's definitely cool that it mentions it later, but like I would expect it to know that the moment I have to enter a password, because that's like connected to that. And I would like to know that there at least. But yeah, that's like my first impression rating is 2 stars on that part. Reliability, performance, stability, bug-free, offline mode. So it works offline. I didn't find any bugs. So everything which I wanted to do actually worked. It didn't crash. It was performant. I thought for a second that these buttons are not performant, but that was just a tapping area issue. So it's not related to reliability. And I'm giving here 3 stars. Simplicity, intuitive, focused, convenience. So it is definitely convenient. So I can say that when I'm in like this edit mode, it's not using the full width of the screen also. So if I change to the portrait mode, I guess that's like what it's optimized for. You can see it's really optimized for that. But I think many people actually using their iPads in this landscape mode. And that's also where you can typically put it on your desk and just leave it there. So optimizing for this definitely would make the app more convenient to use. But it does work there, so it's not a problem, a big problem. It is focused in many ways, so it has a clear thing that you want to do with it. It is mostly intuitive, as I said, like this icon here at the top right, and also when you go back, these entries from the bear are not intuitively clearly like documents or something. And yeah, there could be a review. There could also just like another idea I just had is because when I click this here, I do have lines. In this case, I don't have lines, but let's say I have this grid. I would expect maybe to just see the grid here, even if like, I mean, it's not making the text unreadable or something. And if I just saw the grid there, I think it will be giving me the feeling this is the document that I have created. And the same could be here as well, and it will be more clear. So overall, simplicity it's simple, but some things need to be improved. So 2 stars here as well. System integration, shortcuts, content search, and widgets. I think I'm going to kind of skip that here. I can't really test it on the iPad, to be honest, because it's not my iPad. But I think there is no widgets and shortcuts at the moment. Shortcuts I could try, but I'm guessing there isn't none yet. Just create new shortcut and just search for the app Schmusi. Yeah, it's not showing up, so no shortcut support. Okay, maybe I can rate it, but there is like photo integration and things like that. Content search, so I'm guessing I cannot search for documents from like when I just swipe down. Milan is asking, which app have you already developed? Would be nice to know more about them and your progression. I actually started at the start of January with my independent app developer career, and I'm currently working on my first actual app, so it's not up yet. I do have one open source app, but that's not worth checking out. It's a very, very specific use case, and I don't make money with it anyways. It's just like for very few people, but I will definitely make sure to like on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever you want to follow me. So you can find my Twitter. That's where I'm posting everything basically. You can find it in my about page, and then if you follow me, you will definitely know for sure. But I'm currently developing an app for developers. That's going to be my first app. It's going to be a Mac application. So that's not going to be interesting to you, but for everyone else watching. So if you're interested in that. But then I will also develop other apps. So my plan is not to just develop one app and work on that for a long time. Instead, I want to like push out 2 free apps per year. And there's going to be apps as well that is interesting for everyone. System integration. So it is hard to rate. I would say I didn't see much system integration. Like photo import is nice. Let's give it 2 stars for the integration with sharing and photo importing. Value delivery. So rating the idea is always hard, but I do like that this is like a, it gives you like a different feeling for a diary. It's like more personal. I think that part is not perfectly implemented yet. Like like Schmusi could be even more interactive, because if you already start that idea, I would expect it to be even more interactive. So I can ask it even something, not just it asking me something. But I understand and I like the idea, and I'm not sure if there is like many people who are going to want something like this, because most people are focused, efficient, and they just want to get things done. So I'm not sure if that's something that is going to scale. But I liked definitely how you implemented the idea of having a nice feeling diary and being guided and having all these animations was really nice, but that's more for excitement. Attention to details. I could see attention to detail in like the design terms. And overall, I think this is a nice idea. I'm just having like, it's not perfectly done on the Schmusi part, the interactive interaction there, and I'm not sure how much this scales. So maybe you could adjust the idea going into like adding more features over time, or making it even more specific to a specific use case. I didn't quite get the use case yet. It just looks like I can make notes, and it's asking me questions, but I don't get like I don't know what the whole idea of those questions is. Is it like to make me have a healthier life, mental health? Is that what's going to help with? So I think value delivery is 2 for now. Excitement. Now this is the part I'm just going to give 3 stars. There's so much graphics and nice things going on, animations of gradients in the background. So easy to give 3 stars here. And there we go. We have a 25 of 30 rating, which is quite amazing. So well done, and I hope that this review was kind of useful, and that's basically the review part of this stream. Thank you for letting review, and let me share the link again. So everyone who wants to check out the app, please download and follow Ali here. Any questions from your side, Ali? Or Ali? Otherwise, we're going to move on with our next part. And I want to quickly summarize. I'm going to share this document with you, with the developer, and also be posting like the certificates I have done with the other reviews as well. But that's basically the preview part. So let's get back to our focus timer. Thanks for all the helpful feedback. Yeah, I hope it's going to help. And that's the whole point. Really helps me adjusting everything. Cool. Now, this is the summary of our last stream, and we worked on the open focus timer last stream as well. So our open focus timer, just to summarize that, you can see the project also that I'm mentioning here. If I just enter project, Samigun says, hello, I'm joining shortly in my break. Welcome. Cool that you're looking and saying hi in the break. So this is the open focus timer. We basically want to have kind of a Pomodoro timer where we have 25 minutes work, 5 minutes break. Something like the app that we're using here as well, but we want to have multiple categories, like so I can say have different projects that I can log, and also I can have different task type, like for example, project open focus timer, task type coding or designing. So I have different things there. Also, we want to have kind of a reflection where we get asked like for a summary, what we did in the session, problems, blockers, our learnings in the session, and the next steps, so we know where to continue. Then obviously just a history to see what we've worked on, and statistics. those are like extra features I want to add, and then I could like even continue from there, but that's like optional. And last time, in our last stream, we actually did a PodBuddy app review. So that was our last reviewed app. And then we worked on the app icon. We cropped it so it looks nice on macOS as well. Like at least it's not like a rectangle. Then we started working on a reflection screen UI with simple form with sections and text fields. So we had problems in blockers. Xcode doesn't provide proper feedback for when packages are missing in package.swift to be imported into the current package when applying package modularization by 0.3. So we are applying a way how we structure our application by splitting it into multiple packages using Swift Package Manager, like suggested by 0.3, and that somehow has problems with giving us feedback sometimes when something is wrong with the package.swift. Also green screen, yeah, my green screen was not working all the time last time, so I had to check my Logitech settings, but I don't see anything I can do there. One learning, an app for managing the package.swift file would be really nice, or in this case, this is an idea. So solving this problem with an app that just handles like adding new packages would be really cool. And this is the next step. So let's actually copy them for our today's stream. And let's continue by adding a new entry here. So this is the new session. And we're going to work on Open Focus Timer, part 7. Today is this day, it's our app project, and this is the next steps we had written down. So what we wanted to continue is we want to create a mock for the reflection store. So we are using the composable architecture where we have, let me actually open the project here. So we have some code that we can see. I can explain the next steps with code that we can see. And yes, this is our project, and we started on the reflection feature last time, and here we have the store where we have these 4 fields that we're going to reflect on, like the progress that we made, problems, etc. And we do have this state, and the thing we wanted to do is we want to create a mock for the reflection store. So we could, when we go into our view here at the bottom, actually it looks like, yeah, this store, basically, this creation, we want to create a mock for that. Milan27, ich verstehe nur Bahnhof. How did you say one time? I speak English very well, but ich verstehe es nur nicht so schnell. I think that's something that I learned from you, and we repeat that with my wife sometimes, and she had a lot of love on that as well. Maybe you forgot about that, but that's what you used to say back then. Reminds me of that. She's also a large fan, like my wife, of SpongeBob, so that's also something that reminds me of you always. Connect the text field to the store. That was, yeah, we just want to basically connect our data store, where we store our data, to the view, then add a reflection screen with summary and connect the reflection. So that's basically what we're going to work on, is the reflection screen, and the reflection screen is all about, yeah, reflecting on our app, and our app, just to run it also, just so people can see. Let me run it. Let me run the iOS app. Let's run it on iPhone 13. Oh, it's failing, so we do have some errors here. And it's stating, yeah, this is exactly where we stopped. So it's expecting us to enter here progress, etc. Missing arguments. Let's actually add them. Let's just make them empty for now. So it builds. Let's run again. Still failing. And we have a missing argument here as well. And that's exactly why we wanted to create the mock. Let's just initialize this also with empty strings. Let's run the app. Still build failing. This time it's telling us that our switch, so we have actions here and it's not exhaustive because we have a new one, which is the reflection action. And for now, we're just going to break in the reflection action. So everyone who doesn't know Swift Composable Architecture will probably not understand this code, but you can consider this our controller, and we have glued together code. But let me show the app quickly. Now it's building. Now the simulation actually start, and you should be able to see our current state of the app. And I'm not sure if it's going to look nice on iPhone because I think we have used a VStack last time, so we're showing things side by side. Let me also open the macOS app. By the way, bin nebenher am Zocken und schaue deinen Stream. Ich würde mich freuen, wenn wir uns mal bilateral austauschen können. So you're playing a game and watching my stream on the side. That's totally fine, and obviously, yeah, of course, contact me also outside and let's chat and have fun with gaming. What are you playing? Are you playing Pokemon? Maybe Pokemon Arceus? That's what I'm playing right now. Yeah, you can see this isn't optimized for iOS. That's something we could fix today. So fix VStack on iOS. Haha, yes. So I gotcha. How far are you in the game? So this is basically the view we have created that works. Like this is like the timer that it's counting down, and then it gets to 0, then it says time is up, and then I can start it again. And this is the progress. This is obviously all not looking nice yet, and we're going to improve that. But this is like just getting started on that. And this is the thing that we have just added newly, that we can enter like a text field, and that's what we're going to work on today. Trying to finish my decks. How far are you? Like, how many stars do you have? There's like 10 stars you can get. I think I'm at 4 stars. How far are you into it? And yeah, before I continue, 7 stars. That's nice. So you're farther ahead than I am. Before I continue though, I want to take a quick break because we had like 1 hour and 20 minutes of app review, more or less. And yeah, my throat just needs a short break, and also I want to stretch as always and just get some fresh air. So I'll be back in 2 minutes or something, and see you right there. Okay, let's get back on track. Ich schreibe dir auf Twitter. Cool, yeah, tu das. So write me on Twitter, and maybe you want to fix this first, because we also want to see something nice here. So maybe that's a small trick also for everyone who doesn't know that yet. Because we do have, like, on an iPhone, you have more height than width. So what you want to do is, if you want to have a view, just like a preview kind of view that we have here, because we just want to see something, what I like to do is on the Mac or on the iPad, just have it side by side. So you have like a V stack and an H stack. Mr. Soyek, thank you for following. Very nice of you. Thank you very much. So we have a, as you can see, we have an H stack. So we are putting them side by side, which works nicely for a Mac app. So if I open the Mac app, also not great, but you can see it kind of works. We don't want to have them on top bottom, but on the iPhone, we want to have it top bottom. So what I'm going to try is just to make it top bottom on the iPhone and side by side on the Mac. And yeah, by the way, what I forgot to say last time, I actually had, because I just saw in the chat, I had configured some sounds that you could play with your channel points. And I had showed it off, but actually the sound was really put down, the volume of the sound, and you couldn't really hear it. So I will try to replay one of them so you can see what the sound, what it might sound like. And where is it? Like, how can I use that? There we go. So I want to play a sound alert. Well, let's just go for Pokemon sound. Let me just play that, and I hope it's going to be louder this time. Okay, so can you please tell me if that was too loud? If that was too loud, I can make it lower volume again, but that's the kind of sounds that you can play. If you think that it fits. For example, I do also have, if I ever run tests, which I already mentioned last time, if I run tests and the tests don't pass, you could actually play this sound. Okay, so everyone who knows that should know what this is about. But let's get back to this VStack, HStack issue. So I want to show this differently on the iPhone. There we go, Pikachu being played by Milan 217. So how I'm going to solve this with the view on the reflection view, because we have a form here actually. It's actually in the app entry view. So we have an H stack, which is the horizontal stack. On the Mac app, I want to keep the H stack, but on an iPhone device, I want to have a V stack. So I would like to know somehow like which device we have and have a different one on each. And basically, there is a simple solution for that. I have actually, I think, even written some code and shared it on GitHub. So let's just check that out. I do have a handy SwiftUI library, like my handy Swift library also, where I share all my reusable things that I think should be in Swift. Likewise, I'm doing the same for SwiftUI. It's not documented that much yet, but I do have a adaptive stack here. So basically what this is a view. So you can see the body here. It just says if the size class is compact, which is basically a phone, it's using a V stack. If not, it's using an H stack. Very simply, if size class, and the size class is here in the horizontal size class. So we could copy this code now and this here, or we can just import handy SwiftUI and just use this. And because I'm going to extract all my stuff that I'm reusing into handy SwiftUI, I'm just going to actually import this. So let me copy that. And let me import it in our Swift package as a dependency. So we have handy Swift already. Let's import also the package. Of handy SwiftUI from version. What version do we have actually here? Okay, no releases yet, so I'm just going to go for the main branch here. Instead, let's go to branch main. And I like to always give a summary of what this does by copying the about text here as a comment. Now we have handy SwiftUI mentioned here. Let me actually remove the .git here, it's not needed. And now I want to import it in our app entry point, because that's where we're going to use the adaptive stack. And going alphabetically, it's here. And let's just use the handy SwiftUI name. There we go. Now we should be able to import it here. Import handy SwiftUI. And now we could just replace the H stack with our adaptive stack. And let's see what happens now. Now I'm running the macOS application. So the Mac app is still side by side, but the iOS app now should actually be top bottom. So you can always see that it's running at the top right here, launching, and there you go. So now it's top bottom and this is side by side. And now we can see more of this here. It's still not looking nice, and this is definitely not our final design. But because our SwiftUI previews are not working next code, we're just going to use that style of showing, and we can also scroll. So we can see how this view only will look like. And we could make this a little smaller as well, so we can see more of this here. Mr. Soyak, do you keep your App Store account alive even though you already work as an iOS dev? Paying $99 yearly is not too viable for someone who only needs it for the purpose of building a portfolio. So the $99 that you have to pay to basically upload apps to the App Store, if you're building a portfolio, so you can like, I don't know, what's your purpose? Like, what do you want to do with that portfolio? So in my case, if you're just asking for me, I always plan to actually write apps and sell apps also on the App Store. So I never asked myself the question, do I want to pay the $99 or not? Because I always wanted to have that option to upload anytime. I also always have an app online, even though that's like a free app. It's worth for me because I always try to actually write apps and I want to keep me motivated. So, and also my first app that I'm going to release soon, I think it should be ready in latest in sometime in spring, probably this year. And yeah, I already have it. So if I'm going to sell an app there on spring, it's going to be makes sense. I'm expecting to make more income than $100 a year. But if you're asking for yourself, like if it makes sense to just pay that $100 per year for a portfolio, I think it depends. Like, what are you going to use those apps that you have online for? And is it worth the $100 per year? Maybe it's worth it for the first year until you get a job, and then maybe it's not worth it anymore. It really depends. But if you're planning to sell apps on the store, that's the only way to do it. You have to. So I don't quite understand the goal target of your question. Maybe if you want to make the question more clear, I can give you a more clear answer. But for me, it definitely makes sense because I'm planning to sell apps from the App Store. Cool, so let's make this a little smaller. So, and here also, I think here is fine. But I want to actually use the iOS app preview. I try to make it smaller. So the timer view we have here, we have a spacer in here, we have a text. We're not really specifying a size, so all have their intrinsic sizes. Could we make it smaller by just giving the whole view here in the in here? We could use like a set height, so we just give it a frame. We set the height to, I don't know, 300 maybe. So it has to have exactly that height, and let's see what happens now. Oh, there's a build error. What's going on here? I don't think that this should be failing. Now it's running. Still the same height. Maybe it's not enough. Go further down. Yeah, it does rescale, so let's just give it like 150 for now. This is not a final design anyways. So now at least we can see the bottom part. This is like our reflection screen. And we will change the layout. I can already see that the titles that I have here are a little bit too big, so we don't want to probably keep those title sizes. But yeah, we could adjust that also later. Anyways, let's just go with like a caption maybe, or a headline, I don't know. Let's try that. Let's try headline here. Let's compare them, what they look like. Let's try sub-headline. And title free. Let's see what they all look like on an iPhone. So this is kind of too small. This is kind of okay from the size. This is okay-ish. I like this one most. So let's go for, we had headline here. So we're using headline font size. And then we have a text field in here, which we can also edit. And we want to have that everywhere, of course, but we have to connect everything. So it's saying last time we actually stopped here and we want to continue here by connecting the text field to the store. Let's go back to our list of to-dos. So first thing we did is replace hstack in our app entry point with an adaptive h or vstack based on phone, or like based on size, view size. It's definitely something that we have already solved, and we want to continue with the next to do. So create a mock for the reflection store. Let's actually do that because we have actually now done it this way. And I'd like to have this extracted. Basically, I will copy that, and we'll do the same that we did also already to the timer store, where we just said, or did we do it here actually? I think it was in this store here, also not here. Was it in the app environment? Yeah, we created a mock here, and we want to create something similar to this so we can reuse it in our development code, but not in the actual production code. So let's actually go to our reflection store and we'll just create an extension if this is in debug mode. Let's extend our reflection state. And let's just create a static var mocked option where we return self. And then we just initialize. And this is basically the initialize where everything is empty. And I think that makes sense as a mock, that we basically keep everything empty for the beginning. And then we can use that everywhere in our debug code, like We could also use it in our tests, but I want to use it here in our preview, where we have this thing here. I just want to call it mocked. And we did also use it somewhere else. So let me go to the changes that we've made. So these are the changes. We have replaced the init with mocked. Then this is what we just added. And in the view here, when we open, this is the adaptive change. And this is in the other place. So in our reducer, where we create the state, because we're showing it right away for testing purposes, we could also use the mock there. But maybe we can't actually use it here because it's only available if we are in the debug mode. And we are calling also in a non-debug mode. Showing reflection state at all times for debugging purposes. We could actually wrap this with if debug, so we don't forget it here. But I think that's not going to happen. We have also the warning there, so that's basically something that we just did. Let's get back to our to-dos. So we have extracted that. Next thing that we wanted to do is connect the text field to the store. Let's do that. So I'm kind of feeling like I'm not 100% fit today. I'm kind of feeling like a little sore throat. I was also tired, also yesterday evening and today, so I hope I'm not going to get sick in the next days. I'm trying to keep myself chill a little bit and go slowly, so that's maybe also something I will also do in the stream. But I hope it's going to be fine, so I can continue with my Friday stream. Otherwise, I will have to make an announcement on Twitter, but I will make sure that I will announce it. So this is the text field, and we just wanted to start with one text field, although I plan to have like a list of summary points that we will going to add. Let's start with simple text field, and this is basically our summary. And this is the part where we're connecting. So we are basically, whenever the text changes in that text field, so a user enters a text in our text field, we are binding that to basically changing our progress in our state. This is just a string. And it also calls the set progress. So no, this is the get. So this is when we show the text field. It reads from this. And the send is basically the action that is being called. And it's basically this action here, set progress. And we're handling it in the reducer. So this is the part where we continue. So we are switching on the action, and if the action is set progress, we are reading the new progress text, which is progress. And then we just set the state's progress to this new value. And this basically updates our state. And let's do it for all the others as well. So we're setting also the learnings. We're also setting our problems. Problems. And last but not least, we're setting our next steps. Cool. Now we have connected basically the store with these fields to our view. At least this view here, and we can also just copy and paste that to all the other places. And just rename these entries, and we see that this is like, I think this is a placeholder, I'm not really sure, we'll see in a second, but this is our problem section. This is our learning section. And this is the next steps. Let's run and see what this looks like. So we're first having building errors, and it's saying that cannot assign a property progress is a let constant. Progress is a let constant. Oh yeah, so it's saying that our store, yeah, it doesn't allow for changing these. We have to make them var, so we can change them, and now this should be fixed. There we go. And now we have like text fields everywhere, and we have a placeholder, and if we start typing, like this is what, oh, it's changing all of them. So you can see how they're connected, and that happens because we just copy and pasted the fields, and we have to change them as well. So here, obviously, we want to read from the problems. We want to set the problems. Likewise, here we want to read from the learnings and set learnings. We want to read from the next steps and set the next steps. Let's run again. Now it should be connected to the right fields. So this is what we've done. And we should actually see in our debugging output that each time we're entering some new key in the text field, we're receiving a reflection action of type set progress, because that's what we've connected it to. Set progress is being sent each time something is changed in the text field. And for some reason, it's actually being sent twice, but that's something else I can figure out later. It's definitely being changed, and that's also what we expect. And the same for blocker 1. Learning 1 and next step. So it does work. And being connected to the store, I can see we have a title, and currently the placeholder that we have here, which is it's basically the same as a title. That's not really useful because the title is already telling us what we have to enter here. So I want to change this to some example and content. So let's make it translated and make it actual example content. And I'm going to use body crouch for that to translate it easily. And what content can we add to the summary? So let's first call into body crouch translate. Let's give it a key. We can already see from the text here that our key starts with reflection, because that's the reflection screen. Dot, and then we have the progress section. And then we want to give it a name that makes sense for a placeholder. This is a placeholder, it's not a title, so let's just call it placeholder. And the initial translations could be in English, e.g. Okay, what summary points could we add here? So let's have a look and get inspired by our actual summary. So this is exactly the 4 fields that we want to have in the app. That's why we're using them here. And we could, like when we make progress, we could say something like finished screen, or finished onboarding screen. Or finished app icon, let's do it like that. First version of app icon, just an example entry there. And let's give it a German translation as well. There we go, and the comment, I just delete the comment. So let's do the same for the others as well. Just copy them in. Here we're in the problem section. This is the learning section and the next step section. All of them are placeholders, and now let's change the values. So in the problem section, problem we could have had is SwiftUI. Okay, so this is very specific. Let's do something that could be used by anyone, not just by developers, because this is not an app only for developers. I think app icon is kind of understandable for what the problem was. Maybe couldn't focus, or maybe what could be a blocker when we work? So we are working. What blockers do we have? Let's go have some inspiration from the past entries. Go like to this entry here. So problem, getting the hex string. This is very developer specific. Xcode crashed, extracting core data, referencing assets, build scripts, not clear how to add So didn't know where to start, for example, could be something like didn't know where to start. Okay, let's go to the next one, learnings. So what learnings could we have had? What is a generic kind of learning that we could like hint users what they could enter here? Let's get some inspiration again. So learning, no learning here, maybe first stream. So very specific to development. That's also specific to development. An app for managing, okay. Don't have any learnings yet from today. Okay, maybe we just need to write down something like so what could be a generic kind of learning that everyone could have, like the session length or something like that. Working to, more than an hour. Or let's do a meeting one. I think there's always learnings for meetings, how to become more efficient with meetings could be useful. So, what, like having a lot of meetings is not that great because it feels inefficient. And how I used to improve that, and that was a learning for me, was just having like splitting meetings to multiple shorter ones. That's like something that could have helped. Or just preparing meetings better is also a tip. It has a learning, so meetings. I don't know. I'm sure I will have a different idea here, and I can change it anytime. So let's go on with that. Next steps. So if we finish with the first version of the app icon, we might want to continue with setting up, with translating, for example. Translate, add translation, add support for add Japanese support to app, something like that. Okay, so in order to change this and make it a reference to actually the translations and add them to translations, etc., we're going to call into BodyCrouch and SwiftGen. So I have to run, and I think I have it actually here. Yeah, BodyCrouch update and SwiftGen is what we need to call. I'm going to call that. And now it should all be updated and replaced. There we go. Now let's run the app again and see what the app now looks like with the new placeholders. There we go. EG finished first version of the app. Icon didn't know where to start, splitting meetings to multiple shorter ones. So we can see it's cut off here. Add Japanese support to app, something like that. And then we can click into it and we can change the app text and go back. So that's nicer, and it's translated. I can also see a lot of things being repeated here. So we have always section text and text field. The whole structure is the same. The only thing that is really changing is the strings that we have in the binding. So we could actually extract this and make this a component that we can reuse. And I'm actually going to do that now. So let me copy that text from one of them. Let's just say like, this is a reflection, or we're in the reflection view, a feature anyways. Let's just say it's a section. Let me actually use the extract feature of Xcode. Let me see how far that brings us. I'm refactoring it, I'm extracting it to a method. Unfortunately, it's always placing at the top, but that should be fine. I just call it section. Let's just make it private. Let's move it down. So we now have the section. We don't need to return here because it's just a section. So returning a section, this is very specific. Let's just make it some view. Then you can see we are calling into view store. So we need to, okay, the extraction of Xcode doesn't really help here. I have to do everything myself anyway. So view store, what type is view store? If we just say like view store, okay, we don't get the type of it with view store. And it gives us a view store. View store. I'm guessing that this is a generic type. Yeah, with state actions. So this is a view store of reflection state and reflection action. Now we have access to the view store and it's all being connected nicely here. We want to pass also the text and the title. So this is the title. I'm just going to use string here. Or is this a string? It's a type is a string. So we're just passing the title and the placeholder, which is also a string, and then a view stores, and then we can replace this basically with title and this with placeholder. Also, we want to change the binding. So basically, maybe we don't have to pass the view store. We just want to pass the binding. So the type of this is view store dot binding, and it says the type is a binding. Oh, so this is the return type is binding of local state, and local state is, I think, reflections. Let's try that out. So we just have a binding of type binding, and local state is reflection state. So we don't need the view store. Instead, we just pass it the text binding here. See if that works. It doesn't work. It expects string binding. Yeah, it makes sense, of course. We need a string binding here. And let's just call it text binding. We can make this one line now. It's much more readable. And let's keep it. So this is now our section. We just pass the title, placeholder, and text binding. And now we're just calling into this self.section, title, placeholder, text binding. Let's just replace this like that. And this is our binding. Basically, if I remove this, it should build and it should just look the same and work the same. Let's just run it and see. Probably body must be declared public because it matches. Okay. Let's run this and see if this still works. So I see that one has actually disappeared. So something is wrong here. I expected this to show the problems, learnings, next steps. Why is it called problem? I think I just removed it accidentally. Yeah, I removed it. That's funny. So when I copied it down, I actually removed it. So this is actually the text that we had before. Now let me apply everything again. Okay, the real text that we want to see here is this one here. And let's call it to self.section. Again, provide a title, placeholder, text binding. And this time we're copying the progress section. That's what I was missing. The text for the placeholder and the binding. And I have the feeling still that I mentioned also last time that there is a nicer way to actually provide a binding that like has these fields, but that's something for the future to learn. Maybe also some viewers will actually tell me how that is done. But for now, this is readable enough for me. So the section, we need another one. And let's move these things up there as well. and add the binding. And last but not least, the next step section. Just got a rejection for my app for beta testing. Oh, okay. Did they provide like a good reason? Or did they provide any reason at all? That's like always the problem with Apple. If they're providing if it's clear why they reject it. And if there's like a good reason, or if it's just like a random thing that happened because someone reviewed to actually, yeah, like most people would review it and just leave it. And for bindings, I did an extension of view so I can use key paths. I see. So let's first see if this is looking and working as we expected. So this is a summary. There you go. So it does work. And you're saying you created an extension on Vue. Are you using TCA as well, the composable architecture? Because it's like a feature in the Vue store type. So it's kind of like a different feature, yes, but I provided everything. The rejection was because they haven't read the testing information. They really haven't read it? Really? So I answered, let's see. Oh gosh. That's too bad. I mean, if it's just because of the person reviewing not reading what you've written there, may I share a link? Yeah, sure, do that. I'm not clicking every link, but you're allowed to share links. If it's a domain that I trust, I will open it also. Just have a look. But if it's like an unknown domain to me, I might not open. Just share a link though. Is it like a link to your app, or is it linked to a blog post or something that explains how to do that? What I meant with binding, actually, let me first commit before I get there. So this is something I expect. And we are including SwiftUI introspect because it's a subdependency of Andy SwiftUI. Then this is fine, handled by the child reducer, makes also sense, for now at least. Then we have adaptive stack, selection reducer, all looking good to me. And this is the improved code. This is the new translations we have had. And that's the magic of body crouch. If you don't know body crouch yet, you might want to check it out. I just ran body crouch, and you can also configure it as a build script if you're not using the package modularization that I'm doing here in my project. And then, yeah, you never leave. You just build your project and you get all the translations added to your files. This is created by SwiftGen. And these are also all fine. So basically we have, this is improving. So this is implementing the UI, I guess. Yeah, it was empty before. Implement, very basic, reflection screen UI with store connection. With a store, let's just say with a store. And then Swift format ran due to the pre-commit hook, and it's changing the init method style, and it's also changing this slightly. How is it being changed? It's indenting it because we have the if debug. That's fine with me. Let's amend it to our commit so we don't create a new one, and let's push this. So it's a medium block, no worries. Let's open that. Okay, so you wrote this, create SwiftUI bindings using key paths. What are key paths? I know that. Writable, partial, etc. Get set. Reference with, okay. How to use the function. Create binding. Okay, so create binding is your function, and you're creating a reference writable key path. I see. That new value. I'm not sure if this will work because we're using, it's basically for convenience. Yeah, I think this will work in plain SwiftUI, but we're not using plain SwiftUI. So I'm using composable architecture. GitHub. And in here, we do have a lot of things. And actually, I think we have even an implementation for the, I think it's in View Store. What we're using here is the binding here. This is the method we're calling into. And the method expects a closure that basically gives us the state that we want. So we're not just like here. I think you're accessing somehow the field directly. I'm not sure if that's possible here. And the send is also getting the local state. And I know TCA, do they have something for it? I think they have something. Let me just look here. So local state to view action. Derives a binding from the sort that prevents direct rise. No, that's not what we want. I think there was something on the reducer level or something like that where I could like bind things. Let me check that. Is there anything on binding in here? Nope. Or bind, just bind. Nope. I don't remember. There was something that I learned somewhere, but I think I'm going to just maybe maybe I could also just ask that on Twitter today, how I can maybe simplify that. But I think this is also not that bad. It's just more explicit, and sometimes being explicit is also not that bad. Okay, my solution was standard SwiftUI. Yeah, I think for standard SwiftUI it makes a lot of sense, but for the TCA architecture, this is also like more readable. It's reading the state next steps, and it's writing, or it's calling the action next steps, set next steps. Cool. So basically, our very basic view here. Also, let's run the Mac app, so we can see how it looks there. And this is kind of crazy. Why is it so big? Can I resize it? Let's make it full screen and off again. What's going on here? Okay, something is wrong. What happened? Let me go back to our entry point view. So we have an adaptive stack with a spacer. And do we actually need this spacer? I'm not sure. Let's just run it as is without that spacer. And still we're at the very bottom. That's really funny. And it should actually be an H stack here. So that's really weird. I don't think we need that spacer. Let's actually run the iOS app again. So this is our iOS app, it's still working. I think because we gave this thing a frame height. Okay, we're giving it a height of 150, which is not a good idea on macOS. So can we say something like macOS only? And it's actually possible because of a extension in Handy SwiftUI. I believe this is Handy SwiftUI extension. Yeah, Handy SwiftUI view extension. So macOS only, or let's actually make it iOS only. We're going to do, yeah, we just get the view. Just going to add that frame. Let's indent this properly. We don't need this here. Oops. I think this should work. This works on iOS still, but on macOS, it should not affect the view. I read also a blog post that this iOS only thing is not something that we should do because it makes the incorrect behavior. But why is it still not working? Let me comment this out and see what the macOS app would look like then. Yeah, there's something wrong here, which I kind of don't understand. Let's go back to adding the spacer back, which we had here at the beginning. No, that's not related. That's weird. But that's not our actual view anyways, so I'm just going to stick with the iOS app for now, as long as we're just trying things out. And in the proper view, we will show it properly anyways. So I'm just going to close the app. We just develop with the iPhone application. There we go. There we go. Also, if we're lucky, the SwiftUI previews might actually work today. Let me try to run that again. And I have to switch to the reflection feature so we can build that. And I have read also that we have to turn off the automatic refresh, and that could help some fix with some issues we have. But I think, try again. Some more canvas. There we go. Canvas, automatically refresh canvas. That's what I read. If I turn this off, that it could actually work then. Let's try. No. Let me do a clean build. We forgot the timer, by the way. So I wanted to start a timer so we make a break every 25 minutes. And I think we actually have already developed for 25 minutes. So I'm going to make a break shortly. And I think we just made a commit. And didn't change much actually. So this spacer, I think we can keep as deleted. Yeah. I will actually make a quick break now and we'll get back. So let me try if I can start this and just get it down to. Okay, so we're in the break now. We have like a screen for the break. Okay, I don't get the full screen view. Anyways, yeah, taking a short break. So I'll be back in 2 minutes or so. Okay, I'm back and I can see that my timer has actually automatically started this time. We're going to run it. Cool. Now we should get a reminder when the time is over. 24 minutes left. And let's get back to our views. So we have continued with our steps that we had to do. Connect the text field to the store, that's done. Actually, we could have just moved it by drag and drop. Add a reflection screen with a summary of the session. Does this mean like at the end of the timer? Maybe that's what it means. Connect the reflection screen to the database. So we could do that first. Fix VStack on iOS. And that's just something we did already. And that's basically this point. So I'll just delete this here. Okay. I actually want to connect this to the database now. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. Okay, so we want to save the data in the database. Let me hide that because it's not useful anyways. And what we have right now is these fields, and we want to basically save them in the database. But when do we want to save them? I guess when we click some kind of save button or something like that. We don't have one yet, so I would just add a save button to keep it simple. Let's just go here and just add a button. Let's just give it a simple title. Let's translate it right away. And this time we're in a reflection screen where it's not a specific section. It's actually just the save button dot title. English save. German is speichern. No comment needed. Then the action that will happen when users click that is we'll just send something to the view store, and we don't have an action for saving yet, so let's add that. So we have the set actions. Let's add an action for a save button pressed. Save button pressed. There we go. Now if we run body crouch again, should do its work, and we should have the text being referenced, fully translated, and the button here. Let's also give it some styles. So I want to use the button style. Oops, why is it not working? Button style. Okay, autocompletion not working right now, but I want to have the bordered prominent style. And if I build it doesn't work because I have a button in a form, I guess. Probably that's not possible. Or what is the, let me try to build. It tells me that, okay, our reducer is not complete, so we have to add the save button pressed. And what to do then, and this is basically what we want to save, but we don't have it implemented yet, so I'll just go for not yet implemented and just break here. So this compiles. And let's run it just to see what the app will look like. Ah, we have the reflection feature selected. That's why we don't see anything. Let's run the app. Okay, actually I see I'm in front of the simulator, so you can see everything. There we go. This is looking nicer, and we do we have a save button? We do have one, but it looks kind of weird. So we probably want to see how in a form we can actually provide a confirm button. And maybe we just want to read the documentation. But we can see here the body. It's like a text. Okay, nothing specific here. Let's just read Apple developer SwiftUI form, just to see an example. So we have a section with pickers, toggles, section, and then there is a button inside of a section. So maybe we do have to put it in a section. Let's try that. Let's see what that looks like. Still the same, so it did that automatically. Probably all this together is one section, is it? Not really. Maybe we want to put the button outside of that form. Doesn't really matter that it's inside the form. What does this look like? Oh, okay, now it's sticky at the bottom. Actually, maybe that's not that bad after all. Not sure if I want to keep it, but why not? Let's just do it like this. Okay. It's not final anyways. We're going to change that if we don't like it. But let's connect it now, and let's give it some logic. So this is the save button pressed action that's being triggered whenever the button is clicked. And when this is clicked, we want to store the data that we have in the state in our database. And we want to save it in the database on the current running timer. So we kind of need, in the reflection screen, we kind of need to know which timer we're currently running on. So let's see if we have access to a timer. So we have a focus timer, and we need to know which focus timer it's related to. We might either pass the full focus timer object, which is a class, I think. Yeah, so this should be a reference value. This should kind of work. Alternatively, we could also pass an ID, and then we can read it from core data. I would try to go with the easy way. I'll just say that when we create a reflection state, we also have to provide the focus timer the reflection is related to. So let's, and it's also let, we're never going to change the timer. So this is the focus timer. And probably things will fail because we have to provide the focus timer that's related to everywhere. The initializer. So let's run and see what we need to fix. So we need to fix this here. And actually this is the mocked one, okay. So we're going to say focus timer, and let's see if we have a mock one here. Yeah, we do have a mocked one, which is really useful for, this is the one that we had created. And we did the same thing here as well. Okay, so this is creating this. Let's continue building, and it's failing. Where is it failing? It's failing because we're not setting the value of focus timer. Let's build again. Now it's failing because we don't have the new parameter here. So let's pass focus timer. And here we are in the app entry point, and we are already creating a timer state with the current focus timer. So we are already reading the current focus timer here. We are in the reducer, and on did appear we're reading it. So we do have access to the current focus timer here in the, maybe we don't. Let me see, we don't have it in the state. How am I getting this? I'm saying if it's nil, then create one. And I get it actually. Okay, so we have in the did appear, we have already logic that reads the current focus timer. Okay, so these two are actually dependent on each other, I would say. So the timer, like a reflection doesn't make sense without a timer. So probably it makes sense to navigate to the reflection screen from the timer. And that's maybe something we should do right away. And I'm just going to try doing that. So that means everything that we have currently in the store here as a reflection state, we have to move it all down into the timer state. Let me move this inside of here. Also the reflection action. Inside of the timer action. Then we have the view here. We're saying if let store. So if there is a reflection, if there's a reflection state, then create a reflection view. And that's which is just going to move down into the timer state itself. So timer view. And we might need to do some things here, but I'm just going to keep it simple and just we have a V stack. And let me just add it at the very bottom. See what that will look like. We might need a spacer as well. We might need a divider maybe. Let's use a divider instead. Let's go back. So here we no longer need the adaptive stack because it's all in one view. Also remove the spacer. And also the height we probably don't need. We have the reducer, so the reducer is connected to the reflection reducer, and that's also something we can now move into the timer reducer itself. And here we need to combine now multiple reducers. So let's say reducer.combine. Now we can provide a list of reducers. The first one is going to be a reflection reducer, which is optional, works on timer state, .reflection.state, and timer action. .reflection, same environment, and then this reducer we create here, which is the one specific to the timer, we can just add to the list. There we go. Let's try to compile. And it says that there is no reflection reducer in the scope because we have to import. Yeah, it's a different package. So we have the app entry point package, which imports the timer feature. It was also importing a reflection feature. I think we don't need that anymore because it's going to be part of the timer feature instead. Let's actually copy it or cut it because we will need it in the timer feature now, which is here. So URS reflection comes before. Okay, so this is a reflection feature. Now we can import a reflection feature here. Now this should compile. It's compiling there, but not elsewhere, and it's saying that this also needs to import. Then it says basically the timer reducer's action has now a new action, which is the reflection action, and we had it before in the app reducer, and what we did there is we just said it's handled by the reducer itself. So we'll do the same here. Let's build again. Now we have the non-passing thing. Okay, now we can continue here. So we're passing the focus timer and in the app entry point. Wait a second, this is not okay. We no longer have this reflection state on the app entry state, or we shouldn't, but we have it here on timer state. So this no longer needs to be done here. Now it's saying the progress. Okay, it's not building. This reflection view is not here. Let's import reflection feature here as well. And this is obviously timer action. And there we go. Now it's building, but it's going to be nil because in our timer action we're never initializing or instantiating the new reflection state, and that's something we need to do. I would say we need to do that when the timer is created, I guess. Okay, we will figure out when exactly to do that. I will just start by doing that on didAppear. So let's go to our store and just add a new action. Let's just call it didAppear. Let's call it on didAppear. So whenever our vstack here appears on appear, let's just call it the view store, send didAppear. Now in our reducer, we need to add that didAppear and tell what to do there. didAppear, and I just want to set the reflection state to something based on our current focus timer. And we do have in the timer store, I think, a focus timer. This is the current focus timer. We're just going to pass that in there. The progress, problems, learnings, next steps. We could read them from the database if we had them. And actually, I believe in the focus timer, we do have these fields, right? Let's check the database. So our focus timer is connected to learnings, next steps, problems, progress points. So we do have these rich text entries, and we can actually read them at this moment. So this is where we created, and all these fields could actually be read from the focus timer. So we could actually simplify also this init method by just saying initialize it with a focus timer, and then we could just read them by saying self.progress. Progress is focus timer's progress points, which is a set, and we will just reduce the set into a string if it's there. Okay, so we might need to call these. So let me actually write a warning here. Make sure that the relationships of the focus timer object are available. If they're not available, we need to fix that somehow. But let's imagine that they are available. And the progress points should actually be not nil. Well, let's keep it safe. So this is reduced into this. This is the partial result. This is the rich text entry. Let's go back to the data model. So this is an object which just has a field called text. Now we should be able to say partial result. Actually, I think there is an easier way. Let's just go with map. So we're mapping over the progress points, and each progress point is in itself a rich text entry, which has a text field, or should have a text field. But I think the types are not clear here. So it does, okay, so we have an NS set here. Progress point is an NS set, so it's not typed. Let's improve that as well. Let's go to our focus timer object, focus timer extension. Let's just provide computer properties for, and also let's make them public for the typed ones. So if we have an NS set, we can convert that into a set. And I believe we kept also the order, right? So actually, if we go into focus timer and I go here, oh, it's not ordered. We should probably keep the order though. So this should also be ordered. This should also be ordered, and this ordered as well. So we have an ordered set. Now what we can do is we can provide a typed set. So we want to provide the, what are they called? Learnings, next steps, problems, and progress points. Progress points. And this is an ordered set. So it's importing ordered collections. I'm not sure if we had already imported that before. No, we have not. So Apple has automatically imported Swift Collections library. Let's make that explicit. So we have on GitHub a Swift Collections library from Apple that it has imported somehow magically, which I want to make more explicit. So let's import the package name, no name needed. URL is this thing here, no get needed. And now we're going to say from version, and the latest version is 102. Let's also add the name here, like this short description, what it does. Cool, now we have access to all the things from in here, and actually if we go into the package.swift file, we'll see that it provides multiple libraries. One of them is called ordered collections. We don't need all collections, we just need ordered collections. As you can see, the collections is including deck module, ordered collections, and priority queue module, where we just need this. So let's make this clear by going into, where do we need it actually? I think, let me go back. We need it in the reflection, we need it in the model actually, basically we need it in the model. Let me go to model, say it is dependent on the product with the name order collections in the package. Package's name is Swift Collections. So at the comma, now we have imported clearly to model. Now this ordered collections should also have no problems. Then we have access to ordered set. And the type of objects in the ordered set is a rich text entry. And I'm just going to return here self.progress points, which is an NS set, or NS ordered set should be rather. So it's a NS, no, it's an ordered set already. Oh, that's nice. And that's confusing. I think that's the call to itself. Maybe we should name this differently. Yeah, we have to. This is the typed progress points. Let me call it like that. Now we have progress points. This is an NS ordered set, like I had expected. I'm expecting that we have an ordered set initializer that accepts an NS ordered set. Accepts a set. I don't see NS ordered set. Let's try it anyways. So I'm just going to say self.progress points. And in case this is empty, I'm just going to create an empty set. Let's see if that compiles. It says no, it requires the types rich text entry and NS ordered elements to be equivalent. So basically, I could also just say as so guard let typed progress points equals self.progress points NS ordered set. Is NS ordered set typed? No, it's not. Okay, I don't quite get it. Let me see, read the error again. Requires the types rich text entry, which is what we want to return, and NS ordered set.elements, which is any, to be equivalent. So could I just say something like self.progress points as ordered set rich text entry? Is it like string little conforming? Yeah. Wow. So ordered set is actually compatible with NS set directly. That's nice, even nicer. So we could just go for an empty set in case it doesn't work. Now it says class from order to unrelated type always fails. Oh, I see. So this is somehow not working. Let's just create an ordered set of type rich text entry. Okay, auto-completion not working. Now it should work. There we go. We can provide a list of elements, which can be a sequence. So let's just use this, and we're just going to go through self.progress points, which should give us a sequence. So I'm just going to go and turn this into an array. And we have any objects. And these should be rich text entry. This is how it works. Must be unwrapped. Because yeah, this can be nil. So if the array is nil, I'm just going to use an empty array. And now this builds. I'm going to do the same with all of them. I have to test this, so it's definitely something that needs testing. Well, let's just continue and see if this maybe works. Typed, so we have progress points. What else do we have on the database? We also have learnings, next steps, and problems. So learnings, next steps, and problems. I believe the order is kind of different. If we go back to our document here, it's progress, problems, learnings, next steps. Progress, problems, learnings, next steps. There we go. Okay, let's rename this to problems. This is learnings. Next, I'm not quite happy with the naming, and I'm also not sure if this code works, but let's continue from here. So let's get back to our code here. We want to set the self.progress with the, now we have the typed progress points, which is an ordered set of rich text entries. If we have an ordered set, we could also just have an array, to be honest. Okay, but we have to take a break. So yeah, that's our last break, and then we'll get into our last part. So let's take a quick break. Okay, 3 minutes over, let's continue. So we're typing the, we're accessing the progress points here. And I thought that we could actually replace it with an array, and let's actually do that. And we don't need the ordered set. I'm not seeing the point. We're accessing array anyways. So let's go to focus timer, it's tangent. We're just accessing the array here. So let's just do that. The array, and we could just call this typed. Yeah, we could still keep the name here, but let's just change it to an array. We don't really need it to be a set, so no need for unique texts actually. I'm not sure why core data doesn't provide an array type, or does it? Yeah, I think it's just always a set here. So this is our array, and we want to type it or provide an empty one. Actually, I don't want to provide an empty one. I just want this to throw. Is it already possible to make this throwing? I think it's going to be added to Swift soon. Or here. Swift. Oops. Swift computed property throws is added for read-only properties in Swift 5.5. Yeah, it's new, so it should be possible. And yeah, get froze. I see. Does it have to be written like that? Get. Isn't there a shortcut? Froze. Yeah, it has to be get froze. Should we do that? Maybe not. That's fatal error. So either this is... Let's just force unwrap here. Let's see what happens. If it crashes, then at least we know that our expectations that this is never empty is not going to happen. Let's do the same everywhere. We have the problems here, the learnings, the next steps. I think everything else looks nice except for the ordered set. Oops, rich text entry. Okay, now it should work. Let's build again to see where the compilation errors are. Yeah, here we go. So now we have our type progress points, which is an array of rich text entries, and we just map over those and just get their text field, which is a string. Actually, we could compact map, so we don't have any empty ones. But then we're skipping entry, empty. Yeah, let's not skip entry, empty ones. But the field should not be empty anyway, so let me go back. See if this field is optional or not. It is not optional. So we can just go over these, call into text. Can we force unwrap like that? Yeah, we can. And then I just want to join them by a new line. Try it like that. That works. Now we have to do this for everything. So let's go here. Let's just go down here. Say focus timer dot typed something dot map dot text dot joined separator. I should have copied anyways. Let's just make it separator. Change it easily. Okay, now we just call this is the typed problems. Oops. Here we have the type learnings and the type next steps. Let's build. And this is building here, but we have a build error elsewhere, which is here because we no longer need these progress, etc. Just do it like that. And here it's saying that cannot find current focus timer. We are in the timer reducer here, and we're going to call into state.current focus timer. And we no longer need these fields. This could be stripped down into one line actually. So build is succeeding. Let's see what happens if we run the app. I'm expecting things to not work. It's still showing the reflection screen from right inside of this. No, it's not. It's actually okay. It's actually showing the timer view, and the timer view itself is showing the reflection screen. Nice, more or less. Basically, it looks like the same, but it is not the same because now we always have a focus timer in here. What we can do now, we can go into the reflection reducer, and now here the cool thing is we now have access to a focus timer through our state. So we can just say, when the user clicks save, we just say state dot, or actually we could save automatically. Whenever we enter something here, we could just save. Let's do it that way. Then we can even remove this entirely. Should we do that? Should we save automatically? So in the end, I want to have a view and I want it to autosave. Yeah, why not? Let's make it autosave. So we don't need the save button anymore. Let's remove that. And because I can see here there's this button title as well, we can actually also go into our localizable strings. And the cool thing is we just have to remove it from our English. And you can also see, because this is the new thing we've added, we just want to remove this. And if we run a body crouch again, it will actually make sure that it removes it from the other languages as well. So that's another way body crouch can be used. Let me show the English, the German localizable strings. Not that one. Yeah, there we go. And it has removed it, so we don't see that entry here. Remove the view, remove the button. Wait a second, let's try to build again. I think we have still the save button pressed action here. Let's build again. Now it's building. What we want to do is on each of these actions we want to save. So what I'm going to add here still is a save action. So or do we want to have a save action? I mean, they are different. Okay, let's implement them first here for the first one. So whenever the state progress is changing, we could say something like state.focusTimer. Then we could actually access the problems, the progress I mean, and we could just add something here. Relaxman, welcome to the stream. Selam dostum, hoş geldin. Nasılsın? How are you doing? And thank you for writing in the chat. Okay, so sağ ol kardeşim, sen nasılsın? Ben de iyiyim. We're making some progress here. I will check out body crouch. Looks very interesting. Yeah, sure, make that. Do that. It's going to help with translation a lot. And I'm actually I've already mentioned that I'm working on an app for developers. It's actually basically going to be a continuation of body crouch. So it's going to be having even more features, making things even more convenient. And everything that body crouch does for free, it's also going to do for free, even more things for free. And then I will have some extra features that are paid, but I'm guessing that most people won't use them. Those who are going to use it, they will basically pay the continued development of body crouch and all other apps I'm going to do. But I'm planning to really have as I've said already, I'm trying to get everyone use the app. That's what I'm going to try to target there, because I just want to provide value. And yeah, I think body crouch is a good way to get started, because I'm still working on it and it's going to take some time until I'm done. But then it's also going to be easy to migrate over to my app. But let's continue here. So dostum, ben bu yazılıma 2005'ten beri ilgi duyuyordum. En sonunda vakit ayırmak için zamanım oldu. Şu an HTML, CSS, JavaScript öğreniyorum. So the Relaxman is telling us basically that we're learning since 2005 writing apps or websites via HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Bir soru mu var bana? Do you have a question to me that I can help you with? Okay, state focus timer. Bu mobile için platformlar değişiyormuş. Yani bu Swift öğrenmemi gerek sence, yoksa Flutter mı? Evet. Okay, so the in the chat they're asking if they should learn if they want to do mobile development, if they should learn Swift or if they should go for Flutter. And I would say I've said this several times. It depends on what you're targeting. So if you are targeting both Android and iOS, then you should consider Flutter. But at the same time, if you're just getting started, I think Flutter is fine. If you wanna like really get focused on your apps and make them really great, I think native is the only way. So you would have to learn both Android and iOS, or you focus on one and then you work with someone else to get the other platform done. Relaxman, do you understand me? Beni anlıyor musunuz? Yoksa Türkçe tekrarlayayım mı? Anladım hocam. Okay. Great to hear that. So they did understand that. Yeah, that's basically my thing. And if you want to get started with Swift, I would recommend hacking with Swift. You need a Mac for that for sure. I would recommend 100 Days of SwiftUI. So let me add the link here, which is free and it's great to get started. If you want to learn Flutter, I'm really not the right person to ask. I'm sure they have good documentation on their website as well. So I think both is fine. You can go for both. But if you are just interested in like just getting started and getting things done, and especially if you're coming from a web background, I guess Flutter or even React Native could be a way to go. Peki dostum, sen neden Swift yazıyorsun? So they're asking, why am I writing in Swift? I actually started doing development in 2011. And back then, there was no good cross-platform thing. So there was no way to basically, yani sadece iOS'te uygulamasını çalıştıran var mı ki? Okay, so they're also asking if there are any people who are actually only shipping on iOS, and the answer is yes, absolutely. There's so many apps that are shipping, like many indie developers just ship on one platform, and there's actually many apps that shipped on iOS first, and then when it became really popular, an Android version was also created. I think like Flappy Bird and things like that are like examples that you can look up also in the past. The thing is, a cool thing also is you always want to ship an app and then you want to get feedback, optimize it, work on it and make it better. And a way to do that is actually to ship it on one platform first and then learn from it. And then when you write the other platform, you can already make it a better app basically. So then you have it on both. And there are many starting like that. But if you want to create, like that's the question, do you want to create a company with an app where you need it on both platforms? Or do you just want to become an mobile developer and then you're going to work at a company? Because if you're becoming a mobile developer, I think you should focus on one platform. Most jobs that you can find out there are for native development, so either in Swift for iOS or in Kotlin for Android. Because simply the native way of developing in Swift or Kotlin is the best supported one. It's the one that most developers work with. And it's also the one that Google or Apple are basically developing for and providing the most frameworks, most documentation, etc. for. Everything else, if you use Flutter, for example, or React Native, that's like another dependency you have there. There's another person who has to support the new features that you have in iOS development. Then Flutter has to support those features, and then you have to depend on Flutter. So you're never getting the newest stuff. You're never getting you're getting them, but you're getting them not at the same time as the native developers get. And also you have another place where there could be bugs, there could be issues, you need documentation, etc. So it's like an extra dependency. And that's one of the reasons that I prefer to not use cross-platform like Flutter and React Native, even though I could have switched to that. I have actually learned Android native development as well, so I can write also code in Kotlin. I have also an app on the Play Store, so it's also a free app. But yeah, that's the way I prefer because I care more about quality and more about also another thing that to consider is I like to write code once and I want it to work basically forever. So I want to write my app in Swift. And I want in 5 years from now, or even 10 years from now, if I get back to the app, I want it to still compile, to still work, etc. And I have this kind of support and trust on Apple and Google that my app will still work, even though I might need to like migrate things. I know that there will still be the development tools around and things like that, especially as an indie developer. And if you trust on like Flutter or React Native, you can't, like, I personally feel like you can't be sure that in 5 or 10 years from now your code is still going to compile as is. And I'm not sure if they will, because it's like another dependency. They might go bankrupt by then. They might not. Like, okay, Facebook won't go bankrupt and Google won't also, but they might have stopped supporting Flutter. You never know what happens there. Peki bir sorum daha var. Sürekli mobil platformlara uygulama yapınca web tarafı için bir şey geliştirmek zorlaşıyorum. Yani web tarafını unutmuyor musun? I'm not sure if I got the question right. I think you're asking for the web, like if I also provide my value that I provide in my apps on the web as well. And my answer is it depends on the app. The app I'm currently working on is only for developers, and it only makes sense on the Mac. So it's just a Mac app. I'm not talking about the focus timer. I'm talking about the one I'm developing privately. The focus timer, for example, could make sense on the Mac, on Android as well. It could also make sense on Windows. It could make sense on web. And the way I approach this is I just focus on mobile and on everything that is close to that. So I do support the Mac. I do support in my apps also some web features. For example, I'm going to work on a... thank you for following, Relaxman. So I'm also going to work on a, which I had already in the past and on the web. Ideal Erkek also, thank you very much for following. So in the past, I had also a crossword app. So it was called Crossyword on the App Store. I'm not sure if we can find that because it's not online anymore. But yeah, you can find basically the entry still. Oh, okay, this is not my app. Anyways, I had a crossword app and it was a mobile application. And I basically thought, okay, it can make sense to also, like it creates crossword basically. You can add words into that app and it creates a crossword for you. And then for example, would make sense for me if I redevelop that app is to still provide the Mac app and iOS app, etc. Maybe also an Android app later. But then just to provide the playing of the game so you can share with others on the web as well. And then I would write that code on web specifically. But the generation feature I will keep in the mobile app because that's like the target and the use case I have developed for that. You advertise the foreign app. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's not my app. But yeah, Crossyword was an app that I had on the web store. I don't know why I found this other app. Probably the same name. Welcome to the chat also. Thank you for writing, Ideal Erkek. Okay, but let's get back to this. We have 5 minutes left. Let's see how far we can come there. So I was trying to store the data in a database. We have state.focus timer, progress points, and I just want to change the progress points. So the progress points we have here is an NS ordered set. So yeah, that's that. And I just want to, for now, just add one entry because we just have one text field and I don't want to play around with like multiple, etc. I just want to store it, or replace that one entry that we have there. So I'm just going to set the progress points to a new set. And in the set, we're just providing the string that user has entered. And then we want to just save the database. And I think we already had that code somewhere in the timer reducer. Now to save the database because we were storing and saving in the database here as well. There we go. This is just try manage environment, manage object context, so save. So let's do that. Basically, this is what I expect to save the data in database. Let's do it for all of them. So we're doing a progress saving here. Here we're saving the learnings. It's just one string for now. Here we're saving the problems. Oh wait, I think I need to write progress here. And we have the next steps. And let's just see what happens now. Gia, does writing code while streaming slow you down? Obviously, it does slow me down when I communicate with the chat. But the thing is, this is not my main work. This is not my full-time work or something. I have actually decided when I became an indie developer that I want to do some open source development. I basically decided I want to stream, I want to do or give back to the community some portion of my time. I decided that the time I want to give back is 20% of my time, so 5 work days. I decided 1 work day I just want to create things for the open. And yeah, when I decided that I wanted to start all that, and my wife basically, I also had the plan to have like a iOS course on YouTube, and after the iOS course, and I'm still planning that, so in the summer I'm going to create an iOS course for absolute beginners. And I planned after that course to provide a Twitch stream where I'm developing an app, so I can basically, after I've made that course, I can basically also give people like an example app where I develop an app from the start to finish, where I basically apply all the things that I have showed in that course, and giving people the option to basically ask me questions on some specifics and maybe things like that. That was my goal. And my wife just asked me, like, if you're doing open source development, why don't you just start the streaming? And that's what I'm doing now. I'm just streaming the open source part of my working. And the whole purpose is that people can come in and just ask me questions about Swift and iOS development, like you've done. Like I currently get more questions from outside of iOS people, but that's also totally fine by me. And I hope that I can help people with that. It is obvious you enjoy it. Thank you very much. Dostum, sonraki gittiğin yurt dışına orada mı doğdun? Beyin göçü olarak gitmedin umarım. So basically, I was born and raised in Germany. So I am basically German. I just have, like, my grandparents came from Turkey, so that's why I know Turkish. But basically, I'm a German and I'm living here, and I'm planning to actually go to Japan as well. So I'm kind of a Japan fan, German with Turkish backgrounds. Okay, so let's get back to this app, and we have 1 minute 30 left. Let's see if this works. So let me add some content here. Okay, we have entered A and something happened. So I'm guessing that there was a crash, and yeah, it actually happened. So let's see what the issue is. Cool, yeah. Thank you. So we have a crash, and it's saying that our view context access for persistent container model with no stores loaded. So we don't have a core data database here, and that's basically why it's showing an error. Let's see why that could be the case. So we have an environment, managed object context. Let me actually run this on the Mac, because on the Mac we have better core data debugging. Are you doing client projects or only your own stuff? Only my own stuff. I worked in a app agency for 4 years, also in a lead position in iOS. I was basically the lead of the iOS department there. We still have this issue here. Anyways, yeah, let's just get the talk finished here at least. So I was working in an app agency, and I have worked for many clients through that agency. So we work for clients there. And yeah, basically I learned that when you work for clients, that you can't really focus on quality. And let's just wait for a second. Okay, so when you work for clients, you can't really focus on the app quality the way that I wanted. I always cared a lot about user experience and things like that. I was really never happy or proud about many projects there, because you always did like this one thing, or also you were not part of the design process, and then you just had to do it the way that they have designed, even though you might think it's not the right way. And then you had also really a time frame where you had to finish it. Like you do this for 1 week, and then the next week you do the other project. So it was kind of like not something that I really enjoyed that much. And I decided I want to develop I also had a lot of own ideas, and I really have many ideas. And I will never have a situation where I don't know what next to build if I do my own apps. That's why I want to try that. I don't know if it's going to work, because it's always a question of, is your basically app going to throw off enough money that you can live off it? And that's something that I don't know. I have never tried develop my own apps, but basically I'm trying to, I decided I want to do this. I put some, I collected some money, so I have some money saved, so I can try this out to develop my own apps and make money with it. And I gave myself 2 years. So I just started this year in January, And if I don't make enough money that I would say, okay, I can live off it within the, like by the end of this 2 years period, then I'm going to just go back to either agency work or just to a company or whatever. But I'm just going to try this out. And I believe in my ideas. I hope it's going to work. I just don't know. Like, I think the apps are going to be great and useful. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to market them and get it out to get the word out to enough people, and if people are going to be wanting to pay those things. That's just the questions I have no experience with, and that's what I'm going to learn. You have Turkish sıcakkanlı and German professionalism. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope that's a good combination. So yeah, could be. Okay, cool. So we are getting to the close of the stream, and I see like many viewers and many people in the chat, so I don't really want to leave. Also, if you have questions, feel free to ask right now, because we can like end this stream with some questions maybe. But I'm not going to focus much on the app. Let me finish up the code part. So we have actually done some things here, and let me actually commit and close this off. So we have refactored the reflection state and put it into the timer, basically. We have also connected it to the database. And I think this is all good changes. You just double check. Yes. This looks good. This is also, that's not great code, but we're going to improve. So basically, refactor the reflection UI into the timer, plus we have also connected basically the reflection to the database. So make this shorter. Refactor reflection UI into timer. There we go. That's basically what we did. And the next thing we need to do, work on, is fix this database crash, because we had this database crash. So problem was database somehow seems not to be loaded on iOS. And into database, that's basically what we have done, but fix the DB crash. And this is basically there. Cool. This is a summary of the stream, and obviously we started the stream with an app review. So if you want to watch also the beginning of the stream, you can both find the stream basically afterwards and on Twitch, and I also have a YouTube channel, so let me link to that if you want to check it out there. It's going to be available 24 hours later, so not right after the stream. There you can only find it on Twitch, but one day later it will be available on YouTube as well. And we started with an app review of the I think it was called Schmusi's Home app that basically a indie developer provided and wanted to get feedback on. And that's also what we do. We will continue that on Friday in our next stream with another app review. And I'm not seeing many questions in the chat, so I think I'm going to close this off here. So thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you everyone for asking the questions, for following. And check out my Twitter, where I'm also sharing some of my, you can find the links in my About page, where I'm sharing some of my learnings and things like that along the way. Also check out my YouTube channel, make sure to follow there as well, where I'm reposting these videos, and I'm planning more there in the future as well. Thank you everyone, and have all a nice evening or day, whatever your time zone is. See you all in the next time. Next stream is this Friday, so in 2 days at 2 p.m. Central European time. So it's basically, yeah, in the afternoon instead of in the evening. Have a nice time and see you. Thank you very much. Bye.